It's Jess in the Bear River Homestead, and as I mentioned in my apple butter video, I'm trying to make as many videos today as possible for y'all because I am pretty busy at work. Thankfully the season is starting to wind down, so I'll have more time to chat with y'all, but for now I'm trying to compact as much into one day as I can, and I am taking advantage of the husband taking the two older kids shopping with him to get a few project supplies, and the two little kids are napping. So I've actually received a few questions about how we handle our finances. We're a family of 7, and I'm the only one that's working outside the home. Now I do have a good job. Not gonna I'm not gonna say that we're doing this on a McDonald's budget, but I do have a decent job. I make approximately $35,000 a year for a family of 7. That's not great, but it's not bad. It's not bad. I have no complaints. So something that we really focus on is, instead of working more to bring in more money, we are working on reducing our expenses. And we're doing that in a few ways. First, we don't have cable and we don't have internet. We have internet on our phone, and both of our phones are the prepay $45 a month that you can get at Walmart. And they've been great. Our service is great. We have never traveled anywhere where we couldn't use our phones, and that saves us considerably. So we're paying $90 a month for phones. But that also includes that data. And if we're having to do something huge internet-wise, I do have Wi-Fi at work, and there's Wi-Fi at just about every restaurant we go to, and the parks here have Wi-Fi, and the library. Internet is so easy to find for free now. I just can't justify paying $100 a month to have it. Cable, we don't do cable. We do Netflix, where we actually get the DVDs in the mail. It's been working out great for us. The kids love it. They love getting new movies in the mail. And it's a really good value. It really is. We've been happy with it. And then, of course, YouTube. We love YouTube. And we just don't spend a lot of time in front of the TV. The kids have their movies that they can watch. But we try, especially in the summer months, we try and really stay outside more than anything. Another way that we try to really cut expenses is to reuse as much as possible. And this can be everything from the plastic grocery bags. If you recycle them, that's great. But we actually use them as trash can liners in our bathroom, the little bathroom trash cans. I don't see a reason to buy separate trash bags for my little tiny bathroom trash cans when we have those bags. We use empty containers, so pasta sauce jars, even the big oatmeal jars. We buy our grains in bulk now, but I have some of those big oatmeal containers that I will actually put some of our bulk grains in, so I'm not having to go and get into these huge buckets of grains every time I want to, grind some wheat or make some oatmeal or whatever. But also, clothing. If you have more than one child, can you pass those clothes down? We're fortunate enough to have 3 boys all in a row. So, everything gets passed down as long as it's, in good condition. A really big one for us is minimizing our use of utilities. And it's not just because of the financial side, but it's also because we are trying to become self-sufficient. So the less we depend on the grid now, the easier I feel like it's going to be for us to transition off-grid in the future. So electricity, lights stay turned off, appliances stay turned off. During the day, we have the curtains open. I firmly believe that no light should be on during the day. There's no reason for it. And And then, again, since we don't spend a lot of time on TV, we're saving electricity there. Our biggest electricity use is going to be the refrigerator, the stove, and the washer and dryer. Something that we did not get accomplished this year that I really regret is putting up a clothesline to dry our clothes. That would have saved us, at least a few dollars, and I think it really would have been worth it. But just because we had so many other things going on, we didn't get to it this year. But just finding ways to minimize your use of utilities if you are on the grid. Water. Like I said, we have 3 boys, all kind of stair-stepped. So when they take a bath, they all use the same bath water, unless somebody is like incredibly grimy, whatever. But for the most part, they can all use the same bath water and get just as clean. And think about how many gallons of water it is to fill up a bathtub. And we have, 5 kids. Well, 4 of them that are still taking baths. That's a really good way to save a little bit on the water. And if you're using biodegradable soap, soap that's, not going to hurt plants or anything, you can actually use that water to water your gardens and plants and whatnot. Another thing we do is shop used. I rarely buy brand new, especially when it comes to larger items. Vehicles, appliances, all that we try to get used. Our stove is like a $600 stove, and my husband paid, like $50 for it. Because somebody out there with considerably more money was upgrading their kitchen, and they were just going to, they were just getting rid of this perfectly good stove. So, we saved $550 right there. I try to shop used for clothing. We don't have like a Goodwill or a decent secondhand store here in our town. So it really wouldn't be cost effective for me to have to drive. The next closest town would be, just shy of an hour and a half away. So it's really not cost effective for me to drive just to get clothes. But we try to kind of, do all of our shopping outside of town all at once. So we go bulk grocery shopping, and then we hit the secondhand like warehouse. It's huge for clothes, pots, pans, dishes, whatever it is that we're needing. We always check there first before we buy new. If you check Facebook in your local area, you'll probably find like a yard sale page or, a swap page, things like that. Something else that made me think that we try to barter a lot. I think bartering is just underestimated. It really is, because, if in our situation we can't raise cattle, we just don't have enough room. It's completely unrealistic. But if I can either barter labor or goods that we have made or produced for some beef, it's win-win in my opinion, because I'm getting good grass-fed cattle. I know where it came from. I'm supporting that farmer, but I'm not having to actually pay out of pocket for it. And then the big part of our financial planning is our budget. And I'm going to do a separate video specifically on our budget and what it looks like. We use the zero-sum method. And so basically at the end of the month, we have $0 left over. Every dollar that we have coming into our home, we find a use for. And that includes, entertainment. I have a budget specifically for entertainment, because contrary to what some people think, homesteaders don't just sit at home all the time. We like to go do stuff too. And then savings, clothing, and then of course all of your, mortgage and if you have a car payment, the car payment, things like that. So every dollar is used somewhere. If I have excess at the end of the month, I throw it into savings or I throw it into our retirement fund, one of those two. So that's basically how we survive on one income. Because we've been very careful about what we're buying and how we spend our money, our expenses generally are about $1,500 a month. Our mortgage here is actually cheaper than pretty much any rental I've found in this town, and considerably so. Usually about $200 to $300 cheaper than a rental. And the reason we happened to luck out in that area is because we took an older home. The value was pretty minimal. It was a foreclosure. People who had it before us went in and just trashed it. There were no doors. There were no doors in this house. And so my husband has put a lot of work into renovating it and remodeling it, things like that. And so now it's a very nice home, but our payments are so low because the value at the time was so low. So if you are in the market for a house, don't be afraid to consider houses that need some work. Obviously, unless you really want a project, not structural problems, but if it's got a lime green kitchen, don't necessarily just pass that by, because you're probably going to get a cheaper payment, and then you can renovate it to your standards, what you would like to see, and save money in the renovation. Go to the Habitat restores. Look for used items that are still in good condition. Get creative. There's lots of ways to save money. These are just a few that we've used, and it's made it possible for us to be a one-income family with 5 children. And I really wouldn't want it any other way. I think any extra income that we would get from my husband working, we would lose out on time with our children and childcare costs and just the experience of getting to be together as a family more than if it was, if both of us were working. So don't forget, watch out for the video that's coming up about our budget and how we do it. And if you have any questions about our finances, how we're making it work, how to budget, maybe ways to reduce your expenses, feel free to email me, message me, either way, and I will try and answer the questions as I get them. All right, thanks for watching, guys.